At 6:30 hours on June 6, 1944, Brigadier General Theodore Roosevelt, Jr. stepped off a landing craft onto the wet sand of Utah Beach. He was 56 years old. He carried a wooden walking cane and a .45 pistol. He had arthritis, a bad heart, and written permission, barely, to be here. He was the oldest man in the first wave of the Normandy invasion. Also the only general. The problem became apparent within minutes. The tide and the current had pushed every landing craft roughly 2,000 yards south of the designated landing zone. They were at the wrong beach. The obstacles were different. The German positions were different. The tactical maps every officer carried were now useless. Protocol was clear. You halt. You radio command. You wait for orders. Roosevelt did not halt. He walked the waterline under fire with that cane, assessed the terrain, studied the causeways leading inland. His aide watched him move through the sand as if he were crossing a parade ground. Then Roosevelt turned back to his officers and said what would later become one of the most understated commands in American military history. "We'll start the war from right here." 4 causeways led off the beach. The German defenses at the original landing zone were heavier, more prepared. Here, by accident, the 4th Infantry Division had found a softer approach. Roosevelt recognized it immediately. He sent runners to redirect every wave of men still coming ashore. He stood on that beach for over an hour, in the open, directing traffic, rallying soldiers who had never been in combat. Casualties at Utah were 197 men, the lightest of any Normandy beach that day. Omaha, by comparison, lost more than 2,000. The decision Roosevelt made in those first minutes, without orders, without maps that matched reality, without the luxury of time, saved an unknowable number of lives. Yet he received the Medal of Honor for it. He never got to hold it. Theodore Roosevelt, Jr. died of a heart attack on July 12, 1944, 5 weeks after D-Day. He was buried in Normandy at the American Cemetery above Omaha Beach, alongside the men he led. His father, Theodore Roosevelt, Sr., had won the Medal of Honor too, posthumously, for San Juan Hill in 1898. They are the only father and son in American history to share that distinction. The wrong beach, the right decision. That is all it took. And that like button. Subscribe for me, please.